And then a little bit later, they had not paid me back and they asked for a bigger sum. And of course, I, being someone that can't say no, said yes. But then it kind of just kept being continuous, and I was just kind of like, maybe it's time I do say the N-O word. No. Okay, so more about the foot in the door technique. Let's see. Evidence. There's evidence in this study, yes. In one of the first scientific tests of the foot in the door, psychologists Jonathan L. Friedman and Scott C. Fraser, we covered them in the last article, yes, began with a very small request. They had a researcher go door to door in California's suburb of Palo Alto, shout out to y'all, and ask homeowners to put a small sign on their windows that said, "Be a safe driver." Why would anyone say no to such an innocuous request? After all, who's against safe driving? Honestly, if you're against safe driving, I question your morality there, buddy. But safe driving. Little did these homeowners realize, though, that saying yes to this small request would make them much more receptive to a large request 2 weeks later. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, interesting. Okay. The large request was made by a different researcher who approached each house and asked the homeowner's permission to put a large, ugly sign in the lawn that said, "Drive carefully." Friedman and Fraser knew that most homeowners wouldn't want a large, ugly sign on their lawns because when they made this request to a different set of homeowners, only 17% of them said yes and agreed. Compliancy. But when they made this request to the homeowners who had agreed 2 weeks earlier to put the small "Be a Safe Driver" sign in their windows, 76% said yes. The foot in the door caused an increase in compliance over 400%. So the foot in the door is basically the opposite of the door in the face. It's the reverse of that. So you start out small, go big. Door in the face is start out big, go small. Interesting. I mean, I feel like this is a thing. Especially when it comes to, like, election times, whenever people want to put, like, signs and lawns and everything. I feel like a certain percent of properties are actually owned by the government, so they don't have to ask. But, like, I still feel like that's a thing. When you ask, like, restaurants, it's like, "Oh, can we put this in your window?" And nah. Interesting. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm a skeptic. I'm not a skeptic person, so to say. But if someone were to approach me now and be like,
"Hey, Alex, can you borrow me, like, 5,000원?"
I'd be like, "How much you gonna ask for tomorrow?" That might be a thought in my head. Granted, I'm not a skeptic. I do not think that way. But after reading this now, I'm kind of like, oh, that could be true, because I have had instances in the past where I borrowed, lent someone some money, and then a little bit later, they had not paid me back and they asked for a bigger sum. And of course, I, being someone that can't say no, said yes. But then it kind of just kept being continuous, and I was just kind of like, maybe it's time I do say the N-O word. No. So, interesting. Okay, I think I'm gonna have this little foot in the door resting in the back of my head for the next few, however long this stays fresh in my memory for. When it comes to me, I mean, in this situation, there's two kinds of people. The ones doing the requesting and the ones getting requested of. And, like, which one would I fall under? I don't know. I really don't know. I feel like I'm somewhere in the middle with that, because when it's like work oriented, I feel like it's like both of that, because it's like, I request things for the company and of course they request things for me. That's how partnerships work. I mean, that's how it works. So there's not like all give, all take. So thank goodness for that. There's a balance there. But when it comes to, like, my personal life, so to say, I really don't know how to answer that, actually, because I'm not someone that's good at asking for things. I'm really bad at asking for things unless it's, like, absolutely 100%, like, funny, like, necessary. But, like, at the same time, people don't request a lot of stuff from me. So, I don't know. I think I'm just in this gray zone. It's gray zone. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, did you enjoy that content? If you did, there is more. Please download the full podcast on Spotify as well as Apple Podcasts. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel at Dive Studios. Don't forget to turn notifications on to hear and see all your favorite clips as fast as possible.